Welcome to the Jets This Week trade deadline edition. I'm Ed Tait of the Free Press, along with Tim Campbell and Gary Lawless. First of all, guys, let's talk about the Mark Stuart contract extension. This is something we've predicted for a couple days. I'll let you weigh in first, Tim.
Well, it got done quickly, as Kevin Cheveldayoff said, and I guess it's good to solidify a piece on your back end, especially one that you really like for the character in the room. I personally maybe a bit surprised it's 4 years, but good on Mark Stuart. It's not that horribly expensive a deal, and for what he adds to the room, I suspect everyone in the Jets organization, including the players, probably think it's well worth it.
Gary, let's talk about what the Jets didn't do today. A lot of maybe a expectation that they might do something with the injury to Mark Scheifele, who's gone for probably a couple of months. Were you surprised that they didn't pull the trigger on something today to maybe offset that loss?
Well, no, not really, because centers didn't get traded today. The only one that I can think of that was the center that was traded is David Legwand, and he went for, at the time of this filming, we don't even know the prospect yet, but it was Patrick Eves, a second-round pick, I believe, and a live body prospect, to use the term Kevin Cheveldayoff used. And he just told us a few minutes ago they had parameters set before they went in. They were very aggressive trying to purchase. They were looking for rentals. They were looking for all kinds of ways to add. But the one thing they were not going to do was trade their live body prospects. I keep using the name Nick Patan, and it's unfair to Nick, but Scott Kosmachuk, Adam Lowry, all of these young guys that are top prospects that the Jets have, we knew they weren't going to trade them. So when Mark Scheifele got hurt, you knew that to replace him, to get a center of that quality that you would need to replace Mark Scheifele, you were going to have a prospect in the mix, and that just wasn't going to happen.
Tim, let's talk about how they fill the minutes now with Scheifele down. It looks like Ole Jokinen would step up back to the number 2 spot, but what kind of a hole does this leave, and who eats up the minutes?
Well, it's a hole. I mean, Mark Scheifele was getting up into the 20-minute range lately, and I found a comment from Paul Maurice really interesting on the weekend about how he's developed within the season, that a lot of teams have tried to pounce on using their top line against Mark Scheifele, and as Paul Maurice phrased it the other day, whoa, and at the end of the night, the Winnipeg Jets won the game. By doing that, how did that happen? I think that was a sort of a roundabout tribute to the development of Mark Scheifele within the season. How are they going to replace him? They're not. Although, it's going to mean more minutes for Ole Jokinen. And I think Jim Slater's probably ready to go up another notch or two with his ice time now that he's back from his injury and he looks to be okay. The coach talked a bit today about another name, but he wasn't naming names today, about someone that could play center. So I'm kind of looking forward to tomorrow to seeing, what they have maybe in mind for some line switching and who might get shoved into the middle in a temporary sort of role here.
Just sound check going on in the background here, Gary.
Lady Antebellum tonight.
Yeah. One last word to you then, Gary. A lot of people are going to be jumping up and down and complaining, why didn't the Jets do something today? Let's make the case for why that was a smart play.
Well, I look at where the organization is now versus when they got here, and they have players like Mark Scheifele and Jacob Truman, and they have prospects like Adam Lowry and Nick Patan and Joshua Morrissey and Scott Kosmachuk. They're not here yet, but Kevin Cheveldayoff, what he's tried to do is bring those guys into the fold and develop organizational depth to now turn around and flip some of those guys to try and sneak your way into the playoffs. To me, would have been counterintuitive, counterproductive. It would have been a major mistake in terms of where he used the phrase, you could easily fall off track. I don't think Jets fans want the Jets to fall off track right now. They're getting too close to being more than just a team that gets in, but a team that can actually win a playoff round.
Piano player sounds pretty good. For Tim Campbell and Gary Lawless, I'm Ed Tait. This is the Jets This Week. Thanks, guys.